Breaking right now, preparations are underway in Israel to receive the remaining hostages held by Hamas, with their release expected any minute now. As we take a live look at Israel right now, the Red Cross is collecting the hostages and will transfer them to Reim in Israel. There, they'll be reunited with family members and flown by helicopter to local hospitals for medical treatment. Good evening to you. I'm Susan Hirasuna. President Trump is on his way to Israel right now, expected to land in about 20 minutes to meet with the families. Israel completes preparations to receive the remaining hostages still held by Hamas.
These hostages, they may look pretty scary. They're going to look like they're coming out of Auschwitz, but they're alive. And that's a place to start.
President Trump will arrive in Israel soon to meet with their families. He'll address the Israeli Knesset before traveling to Egypt to finalize his historic peace plan.
This is the first time everybody is amazed and they're thrilled, and it's an honor to be involved.
An international task force will then begin work to locate the deceased hostages who are not returned by Monday, though experts warn the condition of their bodies could potentially derail phase 2 of the ceasefire.
This is one of those aspects that can really inflame a lot of emotion, right? Because it's central to a Jewish family in order for them to be able to say goodbye their way.
Inside Gaza, Palestinians continue to return home to areas that were formerly controlled by the IDF. Troops have pulled back to positions near the Gaza border, and Israeli officials say they are committed to peace as long as Hamas honors its part of the deal.
Israel wants to seek peace with its neighbors and bring a change to the future of the region at last.
Hamas has not yet agreed to disarm, and there are reports its security forces are re-emerging in Gaza in a limited capacity. Indeed, we are seeing some reports that armed Hamas are coming back into areas of Gaza once occupied by the IDF, but right now, all eyes are on the feed from the border where the Red Cross will bring the hostages to meet their families. Now, joining me now is Rabbi Chaim Mentz with Chabad of Bel Air. Thank you for joining us.
Pleasure.
So you've been keeping in contact with the people that you know in Israel. What are you hearing? Is there a great feeling of relief that this is finally happening?
There is a great feeling of relief, and the main reason is because we're finally getting them home. More importantly is we've been praying for this for 2 years, and now all of a sudden we can go and say we can start praying for the whole nation to heal. On the other hand, my friends are also saying like this, wow, this is a two-edged sword. There's a lot that is being given up, and we don't even know exactly how Hamas is going to be defeated, etc.
Etc., exactly, because there is a phase 2. First up is the release of the hostages, but second, they have to have some kind of proof that Hamas will actually disarm, and there's not 100% clarity on how that will happen.
Well, the president is gathering 22 Arab nations together in Egypt. He's going to be talking to each one of them. What are you going to do to guarantee that Hamas is gone? The problem a little bit that a lot of Israelis are having is, how come we're not at the table? You're discussing my security? That is one issue. There's a bigger issue. If you're going to ask Arab people to go get rid of Hamas, which one of their armies, which one of their people are going to go into Hamas's territory and say, get out? Are they willing to do the fight? And this is how you're going to get them out is a big question.
So that sounds as if you're a little circumspect on whether or not the ceasefire will hold. And as President Trump said today, the war is over.
The president is very optimistic. The president has gone and said many wonderful things, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of work that has to be done. I would rather say the battle is over of getting the hostages home, but the war was always to defeat Hamas and get them out. What would I love to see in the future? I would love to see no more killings. Each one of the people, whether you're Jewish or whether you're in Gaza, you're created in the image of God. You have a potential. Let's bring out the love, let's bring out the potential, and that there should be no more war. And that should be a great future.
Rabbi, it's been more than 2 years. Why did it finally come together now for the hostages to be released?
Two things. I look at it from natural and then the unnatural. Naturally, this president has gone out of his way. He stuck his neck out and he used a lot of pressure. Get it done. Without the president in this physical world, it wouldn't have done. On the other hand, everybody talks about October 7th, but there's a Jewish calendar The Jewish calendar, the 2-year ends Monday afternoon. So they were murdered, a lot of murder went in, and a lot of people were taken out on this Monday, Tuesday.
Wow.
Jewish people around the world are looking at it as an omen from above. The 2-year sense is over. Go party, go dance, and be proud of who we are.
Rabbi, thank you so much for
Pleasure.
joining us.
Yeah.
All right, well, as we continue to monitor a live picture from Tel Aviv, thousands of people are gathered in Hostage Square to witness the first group of hostages released. Now joining us is Hussam Aylouch from the Council on American-Islamic Relations. Mr. Aylouch, are you there?
Yes,
There you are.
thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, so in addition to the hostages, Israel will release some 2,000 Palestinian prisoners. How much do you know about them and their conditions?
Well, let's start by using the right terms. It is not fair to use hostages when we're talking about Israeli captives and then talk about prisoners when we're talking about Palestinians, because Israel has been holding thousands and thousands of Palestinians, many of them with no trial, and that includes many minors, many women. People have nothing to do and never been charged with anything. And by the way, many of them have been held way long before October 7th. So let's call both hostages or both captives to be fair.
Okay. That is a fair point. All right, how confident are you that this ceasefire will hold and the Palestinians returning home will do so without worries about Hamas or the Israeli defense?
Sure. I mean, it seems President Trump is putting his weight behind it, so I'm a little bit more hopeful. I'm like many of us who are very happy to see captives, innocent people going back to their families, whether they're Israeli or Palestinians. They don't deserve to be kept away from their loved ones. The challenge is that we could have reached that 2 years ago. There was no need for a genocide. There was no need for 70,000 Palestinians to be killed. There was no need for 20,000 Palestinian children to be killed, 20,000 more amputated. But the politics of the region, the politics of Netanyahu, my worry is that as soon as President Trump gets busy somewhere else, Netanyahu has no reason to keep peace because he knows he's going to be pushed out of politics. He would be held accountable for a lot of charges, corruption charges he's dealing with. So unfortunately, until we deal with the root cause of the problem, the root cause of, first of all, we probably need to hold accountable those responsible for the genocide. But also, we need to deal with the root cause of the problem, and that is the occupation that existed before October 7th, before even Hamas or PLO came to existence. Palestinians, like all people in the world, deserve to live free on their own land. They deserve self-determination. They deserve to have their Palestinian state once and for all.
So it sounds as if you might be a little circumspect that this deal will come to full fruition.
I'm hopeful that at least this will be a cessation of fire. I mean, I'm happy to know that there are no missiles, unfortunately, U.S.-supplied missiles, falling on the people of Gaza today. That today parents can hug their children and not worry that next day they might not be alive. But I don't see it as a long-term solution until we address the long-term root causes of this situation, this tragedy today, and that is Israel's refusal to allow Palestinians to have their own self-determination and state. Israel's refusal to end the occupation. Israel's refusal to end the illegal confiscation of Palestinian land, to build on them illegal, racist settlements for Jews only, on Palestinian land. We're not talking about inside of Israel. These are the West Bank. This is the place where a Palestinian state is expected to be established, a state that has been recognized by the overwhelming majority of the world, except our country, unfortunately.
All right, Mr. Aylouch, from the Council on American-Islamic Relations, thank you for joining us. We have this continuing breaking news, and we want to show you this live shot now. That is Hostage Square in Tel Aviv, and just a minute ago we saw a lot of activity, meaning a lot of people that were seemingly responding to a feed that they're watching on a giant screen, which would show them the moment, and you see them clapping there, the moment when the hostages will indeed be out of Gaza and back into Israel and back in Israel's possession, and reunited with their families. All right, so we're going to keep an eye on this live situation, but it seems as if we're watching history as the 20 remaining hostages, captives, are released. All right, get ready.